than where we are right now. And we know we should be because God has given us these desires. Like we desire good things. Like I know that right now, you should be married. You should have kids. You should have bought your first house. You should have made your first record deal. You should have opened your first small business. Like we know that He's given us a spirit, a desire for something. It hasn't happened yet, and so then we start to jump the line to go take what God is preparing us for before it's time, and that leads to destruction. Like he had to leave his home. Now, maybe for you it's not that serious. Maybe you're just going to end up with the wrong person. Maybe you're going to say yes to the no. Maybe you're going to, and look, we had a whole financial crisis that was predicated on the premise that people held on to this idea that they needed to be first job, first house. Like the economy almost collapsed because this is what society says I should be. This is where I should be at, and so I'm going to go down to Bank of America, and I'm not going to read the term. Like I'm going to sign a loan. I'm not going to read the fine print because like the seed is planted inside of me. I'm working hard. I should get this, and God is preparing us for it. But our impatience leads to our pain. So Jacob is banished from his home, and now he goes and hangs out with Laban. And so that's the next time we meet him, and he's searching for something. He finds it in the form of Rachel, and Laban flips the scripts and makes Jacob work double the time to get Rachel. Jacob then, in Genesis chapter 31, tricks Laban. This story is fascinating. He tricks Laban. His flocks grow. Laban is piping mad at Jacob. He chases Jacob out of his city. Jacob now is stuck between a rock and a hard place. He doesn't know what to do. And God tells Jacob, go back home. 14 years, Jacob's been away from home. God comes and tells Jacob, look, the situation with Laban, it's a non-starter. You've put in your time, you've done your thing, but now it's time for you to go back home. And so what's interesting about this whole ordeal is that Jacob is thinking, look, I know the home that I left. It was my brother Esau. I had just stolen his birthright. He was coming after me. And God is saying, look, don't worry about that. Go back home. It's time for you to go back home. And the thing that's interesting about this whole time period in Jacob's life is that God has been blessing him along the way. Right? He's amassed wealth. He's amassed a family. He has 2 wives, for whatever that's worth. He has 11 kids. He has maidservants. He has people who are he has a camp. And he starts calling this thing out to God when God is saying, look, you gotta go face Esau. You gotta go see him.